When I first started drinking wine, I thought that red wine was the only serious wine. That's consistent with what I see on here on the channel, what you see in wine media. People in general think that red wines are the only serious wines, which to me is a complete fallacy. But as my wine career evolves and I move further and further down the wine rabbit hole, I notice myself wanting to drink medium light-bodied reds or white wines. We have today what I think is the most affordable, complex wine in the world, and we're talking about white blends. The concept of single varietal white wine is Teutonic. For the most part, originated in Germany, Alsace. The Austrians have kind of taken it over. That's where the most prestigious wines are one single grape. And then as wines in the New World started to gain steam, those from New Zealand, Australia, America, it became very common to just simply label the wine as the grape variety. Some of the most expensive white wines in the world are varietal white wines, namely Rieslings, white Burgundies, and New World Chardonnays. Here's where you can really win, because white blended wines offer tremendous value for money. They're not as prestigious as single variety white wines. You have areas in the world where white blends are a little more prestigious still. I think of Collio in Italy, also Portugal, the southern Rhone and the south of France, where you blend Marsanne, Roussanne together with a number of other varieties. Now that I think of it though, the most expensive white Rhones are Hermitage Blancs, which are mostly Marsanne, and then the Chateau Beaucastel Roussanne Via Vigne, which is also a single variety, so whatever. It still really puzzles me. Everybody likes blended red wines. You look at GSMs, you look at Bordeaux blends. For some reason, white blends haven't got that much love. I think that's where winemakers can really shine. Maybe you have a wine that brings a little bit more body, a little bit more richness, then you have another wine that brings a little more perfume, another wine that brings a little more acidity. Throw that together, yeah! I mean, in essence, that's the fundamentals of cooking, right? All the wines I have here range from about $15 to $16 all the way up to $30. You ready? I'm ready. Let's get tasting. I'm gonna try something a little bit different. I don't have the white yellow pad. What I usually do in these blind tastings is I blind taste everything and then I reveal everything at the end. I'm gonna blind taste these wines and reveal each wine right after I taste, and you tell me the difference. Tell me if you like this style of video or the old style where I taste everything and then I do the reveal. These are complex white wines, so I'm tasting with my Rovsya wine glasses. These are the best inexpensive wine glasses I've ever used. I bought them for a white Burgundy tasting. I liked them so much that I bought a second set. Have a link in the description below. Check them out. I'm in old habits. I only need one glass because I'm going to be tasting or revealing one by one. I'm also excited that I don't have a notepad. Let's get going. These are wines from all different countries. As always, had these Corvin, had somebody mix them up. Let's get going. Wine number one here. Wine one. A lot of Flint notes, kind of like a quince, an Asian pear type of flavor, white pepper. And here's the thing with these blends, incredibly complex. Not floral, more of a neutral, kind of more mineral driven white wine, so to speak. Something that kind of reminds me of the Rhone. It's not explosive. It doesn't just jump right out of the glass, but it's very good. It's complex. You can tell it's not cheap wine at all. I mean, these wines are inexpensive, but it's not cheap wine at all. Let me hit that up again. This is a wine that's more based on minerals, more flint, more crushed rock type of flavor, not a ton of fruit. A wine that I think is going to develop layers with time. For how it's showing right now, I'm in like the 89 point range. I think it's excellent. Let's see how expensive it is. Let's see where it's from, shall we? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, I'm surprised. This is the Matošević Grimalda White from Croatia, 2019. I don't think this is available in the US, but in Croatia you find it for around 25 bucks. I've had some excellent vintages of this wine and it does age well. I actually have a case of 2016 in my cellar, which last time I tasted was really good. It's a blend of Chardonnay, Malvasia Istarska, which is Malvasia Istriana, and Sauvignon Blanc. This whole area, the North Adriatic, where you have Croatia, Slovenia, and then Friuli, Venezia Giulia, this is kind of the Collio blend. Another grape that's permitted in that Collio blend is Robola Gialla. Wine 2 has a lot, literally, it smells like green apple Jolly Rancher. Chalk. A little bit of white pepper, a lot of flint. Wine geeks that really like hardcore white wines like that kind of mineral flintiness to it. Yellow peach. Complex. Another thing about these white wines, they're incredibly food friendly. They can go with pork, they can go with creamy meat dishes, of course cheese. The finish on this is extremely long. Again, not such a fruity wine, more of a chalky mineral driven wine. On the palate, that is. On the nose, fruits came out a little bit more. The length there is really impressive. Not high acid, not super sour, so to speak. It doesn't rip the enamel. I'm 90 plus. I think it's very good. Let's take a look and see what this is here. Wow, this is the Domaine Gayda Figure Libre Freestyle 2021 from the Languedoc Roussillon. This is Grenache Blanc, Macabeo, Marsanne, Viognier, $18. I think their freestyle label, it's because they blend wines from both the Languedoc and the Roussillon. I think this is outstanding. I know they're organic producer. I can't remember if they're a biodynamic producer. Rhone white blends are totally where it's at, guys. And some of the white grapes here are pretty phenolic. Very nice. I've visited that estate before and I've never tasted that wine. Wine 3 has some diesel fuel-like qualities, which I'm always expecting, but doesn't smell like Riesling. Green apple, cream, white flower. Now this is a nose, guys. This is a nose for a white wine. Anything but boring here. Minerals, long, wow. This is super good. I'm in like the 91 plus range. My dad is a farmer, so I used to work on the farm when I was little, pumping diesel fuel, smelling that nose. I think this is very good, very complex. Exactly the point I was trying to make when it comes to complex white wines. Look what this is. This is from Lodi, California. This is the Markus Nimmo. $24. This is a blend of Kerner, Bacchus, and Riesling with a touch of Gewürztraminer. Kerner is a unique cross grape. You find it a lot in Alto Adige. This says aged for 6 months and 1/3 new French oak. Did not get the wood at all. That's good. Kudos to Markus. Which makes white blends so exciting is you can have white wines that are aged in stainless steel blended together. You can barrel ferment some, or you can barrel ferment one single grape or one single plot, stainless steel ferment the other, blend them together, get a lot of interesting combinations. Here it did not pick up the wood. Really good wine. It's honestly super impressive. Let's move on to number 4 here. Number 4 has a little bit more bottle age, so to speak. It's more dried yellow fruit flavors. Dried like Granny Smith apple. Dried yellow peach type flavor. Maybe a touch of bruised apple. This wine is so weird in the finish. What I say by that is at first I was like, the finish died pretty quickly and I was like, oh man, the finish is not very good. And then it came up again and it started tingling a little bit. That wine is super confusing to me. It's still really good. It's got a little bit of bottle age. I think that weird spike at the end kind of lifts it up for me. I'm going to go, at first I was 88, 89 range, but I'm going to go to 90. Let's see what it is. Very interesting. Wow. This is the Etna Bianco. Terra Costantino de Etna Bianco 2020, $29. This is a blend of 80% Caricante, 15% Catarato, and 5% Minella. Etna wines, especially with the grape Caricante, it can be like battery acid, no flavors, or on the other side, it can have a lot of dried fruit flavors. I didn't pick up smokiness, which I usually pick up in Etna. This is grown on the slopes of Mount Etna, the tallest active volcano in Europe. If we go by feet, I think it's like 10,500 feet. I don't know exactly. I have to look it up. I know it's over 3,000 meters. It's pretty amazing when you're there. You're sitting there tasting wine, looking up at a smoking volcano. At $29, Etna wines can get a bit more expensive. I think that's a way to get in if you want to try Etna because it's a trendy region. The wines are pretty expensive. Really confusing wine, but good stuff. Interesting wine. All right, let's move on to wine 5 here. Not a lot of fruit, more matchstick type flavor. White peach, pear, kind of neutral. Again, these wines are pretty darn complex. You really have to think about them. A little bit of straw type flavor. To me, this wine is really complex. It's more interesting than I think a lot of people would like. I'm more in like the 88 point range. I want just a tad more acidity on the back end. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Let's take a look. Let's take a look here. This is the Massaya from Lebanon, a Lebanese wine. This is the Massaya Blanc, $18, 2020. This is a blend of Sauvignon Blanc and Obedi, grown at 1,200 to 1,600 meters, so, you know, close to 4,000 feet. It was good wine. I was a little bit less enthused than the other wines here. Let's move on to wine number 6. A lot of green apple, white pear, slate, Asian pear type of flavors, white pepper. This is complex. It's not real explosive. These two may be the most explosive wine. Not jumping out of the glass, but it's pretty darn good. Chalk even. Nice wine. Actually, blind tasting like this is more difficult, going one by one rather than me tasting through all the way and then having comparison, because right now it's like a split-second judgment. Isn't explosive up front, but the finish is very good. Long, 90 plus points. I really like it. I am enjoying this a heck of a lot. Let's take a look. Wow. from Portugal. This is the Esperal Colheita 2021, 15 bucks. I have no idea what the blend is here. Made in tulip-shaped porous tanks. Okay, it was bothering me, so I had to look it up. This is a blend of Antalvaz, Viocinho, and Alvarinho and others. That's in the Alentejo region of Portugal, which is just to the east of Lisbon. Known for more red wines, but there are some exciting white wines being made there. Antalvaz, not a well-heralded grape, but I think it can make some really nice stuff. Viocinho, I think, is a super high-quality grape. Alvarinho, of course, adds some acidity. I have been to this estate before. I was really impressed. These are their, like, entry-level wines. They have a Branco Reserva and a Tinto Reserva. They're like 20 bucks that are phenomenal. But I think this at 15 bucks, and in Portugal, you can get in the supermarket for like 9, 10 bucks. I think that's an extraordinary wine at that kind of price. Extraordinary. Let's move on to wine 7 here. Wine 7 is super chalky. Oh, white flower starts to come out. Dandelion. Sliced white peaches. Not like those white peaches, not the yellow peaches. Just a touch of like lemon zest. On the palate, this is quite refined, powerful stuff. Really just coats the entire mouth. Leaves a lot of length. This is a wine that I think that's not even showing its best right now. I think it's very good. This is a contemplation wine. Again, white blends can be more thinking wines. They don't have to just be porch pounders. This is definitely a thought-provoking wine here. Let's take a look at wine number 7. This is the McPrice Myers Beautiful Earth from Paso Robles. 30 bucks. 50% Claret Blanc, 50% Grenache Blanc. I think this is barrel fermented. I know their Beautiful Earth Red was in one of the top wines of 2022 in one of the critics lists from last year. I don't know, can't remember if it's Wine Spectator or James Suckling. 30 bucks. Rhone blend, I think this was very good. Paso Robles is one of these regions that I just don't know a ton about in California. I've tasted some of the great wines. You think of Tablas Creek, you think of Saxum. You're going to see some wines from Clos Solin giving big scores. They're going to be on the channel soon. I don't know the region as well as Santa Barbara County or Napa, Sonoma even, but I got to make my way out there. Some impressive stuff being made there. The 3 top wines I scored, I think I gave the Freestyle 90 Plus from the Languedoc-Roussillon, not a cool climate. The Markus from Lodi, California, definitely not a cool climate. And then the Beautiful Earth from Paso Robles, not a cool climate at all, pretty warm regions. That's fascinating. Tell me, do you guys drink white blends? You love white wines as much as I do? Drop it in the comments below. Break out my second glass because now I finally need it.